Who really discovered America? Spoiler, it wasn't Columbus. For centuries, history books have credited Christopher Columbus with the discovery of America in 1492. But was he really the first? The answer is far more complex than a simple date in a textbook. Long before Columbus set sail, explorers from different civilizations had already reached the shores of the New World. Some came from Europe, others from Asia and the Pacific, and their journeys challenge everything we thought we knew about the age of discovery. So, who really set foot on American soil first? Let's uncover the truth. The Vikings, the first Europeans in America. For years, Norse sagas told stories of an explorer named Leif Erikson, son of Eric the Red, who sailed west from Greenland around the year 1000 AD and discovered a land called Vinland. Many dismissed this as legend, until archaeological evidence proved otherwise. Make sure to subscribe to our channel and give this video a like. This helps the YouTube algorithm promote our videos. Thank you so much, and now we continue our story. In the 1960s, a Viking settlement was discovered at Lanceau Meadows, on the northern tip of Newfoundland, Canada. The site contained the remains of Norse-style houses, iron nails, and even a forge, clear evidence that the Vikings were there nearly 500 years before Columbus. But why didn't they stay? The Vikings were fierce warriors, but they were outnumbered by the indigenous people they called Skraelings. Conflict, combined with the harsh environment and the difficulty of maintaining a colony so far from home, forced them to abandon their American outpost. Still, the fact remains, Leif Erikson and his crew were the first Europeans to set foot in North America, long before Columbus was even born. Polynesians, the forgotten ocean explorers. While the Vikings reached the northernmost parts of America, another group of skilled navigators may have made contact with South America centuries before Columbus. The Polynesians were masters of the sea, traveling thousands of miles across the Pacific in their double-hulled canoes. By 1200 AD, they had settled the farthest islands of the Pacific, including Hawaii and Easter Island. But could they have reached the Americas? There's compelling evidence that they did. One of the strongest clues is sweet potatoes. This plant is native to South America, yet it was widely cultivated in Polynesia long before European explorers arrived. The Polynesian word for sweet potato, kumara, is strikingly similar to the term used by indigenous South Americans. This suggests an exchange of crops and knowledge between the two cultures. But that's not all. In Chile, scientists discovered the bones of ancient chickens that carry the same genetic markers as Polynesian chickens. These remains predate Columbus and prove that someone brought these birds to South America before the Europeans arrived. Genetic studies have confirmed an even more astonishing fact. Polynesians and South American indigenous people shared DNA as early as 1200 AD. This suggests not only trade, but possibly even interbreeding between the two groups. So, while Columbus connected the Old and New Worlds for Europe, Polynesians may have been the first non-indigenous people to make contact with South America. Centuries earlier. The Chinese hypothesis. Did Admiral Zheng discover America? One of the most controversial theories suggests that China may have discovered America before Columbus. In the early 1400s, a powerful admiral named Zheng He led a massive fleet on voyages across the Indian Ocean and as far as Africa. Some claim his ships reached the Americas in 1421, nearly 70 years before Columbus. The theory gained popularity with the release of a book claiming that a Chinese map from 1418 shows the Americas, proving that Zheng He's fleet made the journey. But historians and cartographers have debunked this idea. The supposed ancient map closely resembles later European maps, and no solid evidence of Chinese artifacts has ever been found in the Americas. While Zhenghi's fleet was impressive, the idea that he discovered America remains a fascinating but unproven theory. Ancient civilizations. Could others have arrived first? Some theories suggest that even earlier civilizations, such as the Phoenicians, Carthaginians, or Romans, might have reached America before the Vikings or Polynesians. One theory claims that Phoenician sailors, renowned for their navigational skills, could have followed ocean currents from Africa to South America over 2,000 years ago. However, no clear archaeological evidence supports this claim. Another hypothesis suggests that African explorers, possibly from the Empire of Mali, reached the Americas in the 14th century. Some indigenous Caribbean tribes even spoke of black men arriving from the sea long before the Spanish conquest. However, while intriguing, these accounts remain speculative without solid proof. So, who discovered America? The answer depends on what we mean by discovery. If we define it as the first human arrival, then the indigenous peoples of America discovered it over 15,000 years ago. If we're asking who first crossed the Atlantic, the Vikings take the title. And if we consider intercontinental exchanges, then Polynesians may have been the first to connect the Americas with the wider world. Christopher Columbus didn't discover a new world, he revealed it to Europe. His voyages led to the age of colonization, forever changing the course of history. But the idea that he was the first outsider to set foot on American soil, that's a myth that history is only now correcting. America wasn't discovered in 1492. It had already been part of a much larger, interconnected world for centuries before that.